Hello, I am Linda Jo Martin, known on Booktube as the Book Lady, and today I am going to be talking about Nonfiction November. I didn't actually mention Nonfiction November in my November TBR this month because I wasn't really sure that I would have time for nonfiction, but I think I am fitting it in to my busy schedule. And to recap, this is how my life has been lately. My home burned down in the Slater fire on September 8th, and then I was in a hotel for 2 months thanks to the wonderful American Red Cross, a charity that has done a tremendous amount of good to the people who were in the fires, not only here but in other locations. And after 2 months, they encouraged us to go find another place to live, and my other place to live is my van, which I am happy to say I just got an RV space for it. I haven't pulled in yet, but for the last week I've been kind of on the road living in the van, and it's been kind of tough, but I am getting through it just fine. So I wanted to talk about Nonfiction November. Nonfiction November, whoops. I happened to be on the side of the road, sort of in a construction zone, because there was a landslide down the road not too long ago, and they're still carting dirt away from that area in big dump trucks. So anyhow, Nonfiction November. This was created by a Book Olive, and she has some other people who are co-sponsoring with her. She has 4 prompts for Nonfiction November 2020, and the prompts are time, movement, buzz, and discovery. So getting right onto the books, for time I have chosen to read A Walk Across America by Peter Jenkins. Now you might remember I did this budget books tag a long time ago, maybe about a year and a half ago, and in that I mentioned this book because I had a really old copy. It was old and battered. I had gotten it secondhand, and I had never read it because it was old and battered. But that particular copy of the book burned in the fire, and then my wonderful oldest son, Joshua, who lives in the San Francisco Bay Area, he bought me another copy. And I very much appreciate that. Thank you, Josh. This time I do plan to read it. It's a nice new copy. That's the way I like them, nice and new. I'm a bit OCD, but God loves me anyhow. The second prompt is movement, and I already read that. It was actually an audiobook. It's called The Jesus Revolution by Greg Laurie. Got to get my name straight here. Greg Laurie is a very famous pastor of a megachurch called Harvest Ministries down there in Southern California. I think it's in Riverside, and possibly another one in Orange County now. But he became a Christian back in the 70s with what they called the Jesus People movement. So the book is pretty much about the history of the Calvary Chapel, which is of interest to me because I became a Christian in 2013 in a Calvary Chapel up there in Idaho, and so anything about Calvary Chapel does interest me. But this also had a lot of history about the 1960s. For people who don't know that information, it would be very interesting, but since I lived through it, that kind of dragged on for me. I was more interested in the church history, and I found it very interesting. It was an audiobook. I really was not too pleased with the presentation of the audiobook, but just call me a little bit picky when it comes to nonfiction. Some audiobooks that are nonfiction are hard to get through just because it's a little on the dry side, but the history was worth hearing about, and so I recommend the book for anyone who is interested in that part of the United States history and church history in general. The next book is for the keyword or the prompt word is buzz. So for buzz, I was thinking, why not a read-along? So the read-along that I am participating in is on Compassion and Conviction by the And campaign. Another car is coming. Hold on. Just wait this one out. Oh, it's a truck. Caltrans. So, Compassion and Conviction. It's by Justin Giboney, Michael Ware, and Chris Butler. And the read-along is with Faith in Books and Mary. So I'm not sure if Mary has a YouTube channel, but I suspect she does. But I will definitely link you to Faith and Books, her YouTube channel. We're actually communicating about this book on Voxer. This is my first experience using Voxer for a read-along, and kind of fun. You can either write or you can talk on Voxer. So if you're not on Voxer yet, give it a try. The third book, or the fourth book actually, that I'm going to be doing for Nonfiction November is for the keyword discovery. And I thought, since I'm in California, of course, when you think discovery, you think gold, right? So I got this book not too long ago. It's The World Rushed In. Travelers. This is actually one of those dump trucks. Okay, so The World Rushed In, The California Gold Rush Experience by by J.S. Holiday, and this is obviously a really thick book, and I'm not going to read the whole thing in November. I don't have that kind of reading skill or speed, so I'm going to commit to reading one chapter of it, and I will tell you about it later. So that's it. 4 books for Nonfiction November. And I'm also reading some fiction. I actually got some fiction read already, despite the fact that I have been homeless, living in my van for the last week. But it could be worse. I have a pretty nice van. I can sleep in it, I can stand up in it, and I don't have a kitchen, and I don't have a shower. That's a big deal. And then also I don't have a heater, which at this time of year is kind of a big deal because it gets pretty cold. But I just rented an RV space, and I may be getting a trailer loaned to me, and if I do, I will tell you more about it later. Hope you're having a good November. Talk to you later.